Good afternoon from the VCU L. Douglas Wilder School of Government and Public Affairs, and welcome to the 14th Excellence in Virginia Government Awards. I'm Susan Gooden, Dean of the Wilder School, and I am so pleased that you have joined us virtually today as we celebrate state agencies, local government, nonprofits, individuals, and private sector partners who are doing extraordinary work on behalf of the citizens and residents of the Commonwealth of Virginia. This year affords us the opportunity to tremendously expand our reach of EVGA through this virtual gathering, which allows many colleagues, friends, and family members to be a part of our celebration with our 7 honorees. If you would like to take advantage of the closed captioning capability, simply click on the CC symbol in the bottom center of your screen. We hope you'll help us celebrate our honorees today throughout the day by joining in the live chat. Click on the icon found on the bottom of your screen and by tweeting about our event using the hashtag VCUEVGA2021. Our program today and our student scholarships are made possible by the generous support of our sponsors. This year's title sponsor is Dominion Energy. Our reception sponsors are Virginia Housing and Altria. Our signature sponsor is Centera Healthcare, and our partner sponsor is the Wilder School's Center for Public Policy. You'll also see the long list of supporting sponsors on your screen who are so generously supporting this event as well. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Bill Murray, Senior Vice President of Corporate Affairs and Communications with Dominion Energy, our title sponsor. Dr. Murray.
On behalf of all my Virginia-based colleagues at Dominion Energy, our home state, I wanted to say how grateful we are to once again have the opportunity to sponsor the Excellence in Virginia Government Awards presented by the Wilder School. It is appropriate more so than ever after a year in which state and local governments have had to meet unique challenges, that we recognize the dedicated public servants who have made Virginia such a well-managed state and such a great place to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Murray and Dominion Energy, for your generous support and sponsorship. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, I am so proud to share that we have had an extraordinary year here in the Wilder School, moving up to number 38 in the U.S. News and World Report's ranking of public affairs programs. Not only are we now ranked in the 15th percentile of all programs, but this is actually the highest the program has ever been ranked in the history of the Wilder School. We've also been recognized with rankings in 3 specialty areas: Public Management and Leadership, number 34, Urban Policy, number 28, and Social Policy, number 19 in the nation. Our Wilder School faculty are providing valuable research and data to policymakers, and our students are making important contributions throughout the Richmond area as interns and Wilder Fellows. I am so pleased and honored to introduce our school's namesake, the 66th Governor of Virginia, L. Douglas Wilder. Governor Wilder's career in public service spans more than 50 years and includes many historic milestones. He is the first elected African-American governor in the United States. And Governor Wilder has celebrated many important milestones more recently, including his 90th birthday and his 25th anniversary with VCU. We are so proud that he continues to serve as a distinguished professor at the school that bears his name. Governor Wilder.
This year's event coincides with another stellar achievement. Dean Susan Gooden was selected jointly by the American Society of Public Administration and the National Association of Schools of Public Affairs and Administration to be the recipient of the Charles H. Levine Memorial Award for Excellence in Public Administration. This award is given for indelible achievements in teaching, research, and service. She is the first person to receive this award in 6 years, and she happens to be the first African American ever so to receive this award. And so we are so thrilled to see others acknowledge what we readily observe here. U.S. News and World Report has ranked us, as you've already seen. But Dean Gooden's rise, her Research Institute of Social Equity initiative is highly valued and proven to be vitally needed in a society today plagued with injustices. And we are fortunate to have the opportunity to thank her for her stellar achievement and for receiving this most prestigious award. Thank you. My role at the Wilder School has been made so easy by the strength of those people who are associated with the school, who work with the school, and who give it its name. It was just so refreshing and beautiful to hear you tick off the statistics as it relates to where this school stands and where this school ranks nationally, statewide, and wherever else people are measuring the accomplishments of those charged with the responsibility to educate those entrusted to their care, to educate them, not masquerade the education. This year we're struck with the malady and the tragedy of a pandemic. This has forced us to revalue and to reconsider the role of education. We see what it does in K through 12. And for those who are entrusted to our care, when they get to us, we have that responsibility to charge them further and to carry them further. Our ranking says so much, and yet that ranking means nothing unless it's the replanting of the crop on a regular basis, bringing in new faculty, strong faculty, diverse faculty, making certain that what we do is what the highest examples and the values of public service and citizenship would demand. I can't tell you how pleased I am with your stewardship in guiding us to this very lofty position nationally and statewide.
In addition to recognizing our outstanding honorees, today's event also raises important scholarship funds. Each year, both an undergraduate and graduate student in the Wilder School are awarded Excellence in Virginia Government Award scholarships. Our undergraduate recipient is Naja Shaza. Between work, a double major, and a minor, Naja is having a demanding senior year at the Wilder School. A native of Indonesia, she is majoring in both urban and regional studies and homeland security and emergency preparedness, while also minoring in Spanish. Naja says that the EVGA scholarship has helped reduce the financial burden she has had this year, especially given the challenges of the pandemic. Congratulations, Naja. While finishing her Master of Public Administration degree at the Wilder School, Summer Morris has worked full-time as the council liaison for Richmond City Council member Michael Jones. Summer says her career and academics are focused on using public policy to address systemic inequities. She further notes that she is grateful for the support towards her education through the EVGA scholarship, as she will strive to be an effective public servant when she graduates this May. At this time, we are honored to hear from VCU President Michael Rao. Dr. Rao became the 5th president of VCU and the VCU Health System in 2009. U.S. News and World Report ranks 22 graduate programs at VCU in the top 50, and the Wilder School is very proud to be in that group at number 38.
It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, Governor Wilder and other distinguished guests. I am so proud of VCU's nationally prominent Wilder School's role in educating and really shaping those who are dedicated to public service, the kind of public service that we need. Wilder School students are taught by the very best faculty, and they're absolutely leaders in the world that we need today to help advance all of the reasons that we have government for all. Wilder School is among the top 15% of graduate schools of public affairs. And as you know from all of us telling you many times, it's ranked 38th in the nation among public affairs programs. And by the way, that includes being in the top 20 among social policy programs. This is a school committed to the engagement, inclusion, and well-being of all people. And I expect these numbers to rise every single year for good reasons. I'm also very, very proud of ECU and the Wilder School's establishment and commitment to sustaining the EVGA awards, now in the 14th year. And under Dean Gooden's leadership, the Wilder School has taken this event to great new levels. as we've actually had to even change modalities to online to celebrate because of this pandemic. It's gotten even better. And what's incredible is that we have the highest attendance we've ever had, and we have received the largest number of dollars above our fundraising goal on record. By the way, this will accrue to the benefit of worthy Wilder School students in the form of scholarships that they need. Congratulations on achieving these stellar records, and I look forward to yet new records next year as we induct our 15th cohort of EVGA honorees. It's my honor and pleasure to briefly acknowledge the genuine excellence of the awardees being recognized today. I've had the pleasure and honor and privilege of working with most of them. And I can tell you, these are very good people doing everything in their power to make government work for everyone involved. True to the title of this event, these honorees reflect in so many ways the work and mission of the Wilder School itself, commitment to advancing equity, good government, and doing the hard work to ensure that every voice is heard at all levels of our public institutions. I want to say congratulations to Nadia and Summer, our student scholarship recipients. And again, congratulations to all of you for helping us to hold up the highest ideals of public service. I am so pleased to be here to honor you and to look forward to congratulating you in person as soon as we can.
And now we are ready to share more of the amazing stories of our honorees. I'd like to turn the microphone over to Dr. Bob Holsworth, who established the Excellence in Virginia Government Awards back in 2004 when he was the founding director of the Wilder School. Dr. Holsworth recently served on VCU's Board of Visitors, and he is now a managing director at DecideSmart, which provides consulting services to both private and public clients. He's also a frequent political commentator on WTVR TV here in Richmond. Dr. Holsworth.
It's wonderful to be here today for the award ceremony. It's such an important time in our country and in our state, and it's great to see the Wilder School honoring individuals who have made such a great contribution to government. Our first award today honors an organization or individual who displays a sustained commitment to securing equal rights and justice for all people by empowering citizens. The Hill Robinson Expansion of Freedom Award is named for attorney Oliver Hill and Judge Spotswood Robinson. It honors a recipient who's widely recognized by their peers for possessing exceptional honor and integrity and for making meritorious contributions to the security and well-being of others. As the Commonwealth marks the 50th anniversary of the Virginia Constitution this year, we recognize UVA law professor A.E. Dick Howard, the principal drafter of the 1971 Constitution, which enshrined hard-won civil rights protections and voting rights in the state.
The 1960s were a benchmark in the story of America. The turbulence of war, assassinations, protests, and riots were all part of a singular struggle to redefine the rights of all individuals, no matter their race, creed, or gender. The resistance to that change was deeply rooted in misinformation, bigotry, and hatred from generation to generation. The clashes were inevitable. So too was change. In the midst of all this turbulence, or perhaps because of it, Virginia Governor Mills Godwin realized Virginia needed its own transformation. Its current constitution, drafted in 1902, was a pantheon to white supremacy, holding back Virginia's educational and economic progress.
It was a thoroughly racist constitution that it was built on white supremacy, Anglo-Saxon superiority.
A.E. Dick Howard was a 34-year-old UVA law professor who clerked for Justice Hugo Black on the Supreme Court when Governor Godwin asked him to lead the commission to draft a new Virginia Constitution. The commission members included Lewis Powell, Colgate Darden, and Oliver Hill.
The central goal was to repudiate the 1902 Constitution, to put that chapter in Virginia's history behind us, to look to if not a perfect future, certainly one that was not bound by the shackles of segregated schools and racial discriminations. Education was put in the Bill of Rights, along with other fundamental guarantees. The education article was strengthened with the hope that rich and poor school districts would be more nearly equal in state funding. And I think making sure that that schools would never be closed again, no more Prince Edward counties.
The simple and direct new Constitution was quickly approved by the General Assembly. From there, Virginia's new governor, Linwood Holton, asked Professor Howard to sell it to Virginia voters. It worked. Virginia's Constitution was approved with 72% of the vote. Since that time, Virginia's Constitution and Dick Howard have become key references for other states and nations looking to expand rights across the world.
I've had the privilege of sitting at the elbows of constitution makers in a number of foreign countries, some in Africa, some in Asia, but most particularly in Central and Eastern Europe. After the collapse of communism, after the Berlin Wall came down. This is a grievance that you find in the Declaration of Independence.
At heart, A.E. Howard is a teacher. He taught Virginia how to transform. He's taught governors and presidents how to create egalitarian societies. And well into his 8th decade, Professor Howard has no intention of putting the brakes on teaching the next generation of constitutional scholars.
At no point have I reached a plateau where I've said, I think I've done enough of it. But I just love my students. They're so engaging, and the conversations I have with them in the classroom and out is really part of the vitality of life for me.
Let me just say a few personal things about Dick Howard, who I've had the opportunity to know for some time. Not only did he draft this Constitution, but afterwards, many states and many countries that were emerging democratic states went to Dick Howard and asked him to help write their Constitution as well. He has had a tremendous commitment throughout his whole career to the rule of law and to the practice of democracy, things which are more important today than ever before. And so I want to congratulate personally Professor A.E. Dick Howard on receiving the Hill Robinson Expansion of Freedom Virginia Excellence in Government Award.
Thank you so much, Bob. Just a quick reminder to all of our guests to please use our hashtag VCU EVGA 2021. And we encourage you to engage with all of those who have joined our event by using the Zoom chat feature. As our communities become more diverse, the need for both resources and advocates grows. Our honoree in the Unsung Hero category is Cristina Dominguez Ramirez, who has worked tirelessly to bring awareness, visibility, and to promote services to the Latino and Spanish-speaking communities in Central Virginia. The Unsung Hero Award recognizes a career government employee with exceptional service. As a librarian in Henrico County, Ramirez works to bring inclusion of Latino youth and families into library services and programs.
Gracias a tu ayuda, mi hijo pudo acabar su estudio o sacó una A en su clase.
Cristina Dominguez Ramirez has a seemingly endless bounty of energy as she takes on the hero's job of getting more and more people to read. Her typical schedule includes being a full-time Henrico County librarian, hosting a monthly radio program, putting in hours of volunteer work, and serving on numerous community boards. Christina's sense of service, her joy of learning, and her love of libraries is deeply rooted in her childhood.
So I grew up in a home where both my parents taught, and education was a big deal. And so we would go to the library all the time. And my father just said one day, well, have you thought about being a librarian? And that was it. So the light bulbs went off.
Despite that family tradition, there is nothing traditional about the way Cristina Ramirez approaches her work. She is on a never-ending search for new ways to connect Henrico County residents with the library and for the library to connect with citizens who are difficult to reach. What she offers to make that connection can be life-changing, especially for immigrants to our community.
We have a lot to offer, but people aren't aware. That's when I feel like I can make a big difference, and that feels really rewarding. like Rosetta Stone in particular. Like when I tell people, if you just get a library card with Henrico, you can get free Rosetta Stone, people can't believe that. And that's one example that people really, especially if they're studying English as a second language.
There is routine, of course, working the front desk, helping a patron with technology, assisting a student who's researching a paper. But so much of her focus is on Henrico's growing Latino community, seeking to create their own path to the American dream.
Trabajadores bilingües, todo eso para las bibliotecas en sí.
We have her on the radio monthly, and she connects with the Latino audience that way, which would be an avenue that we never had contact for previously. So she's able to make connections in the community using all sorts of media, and hopefully the community will return using any type of media they would like to connect with us and get what they need from us.
And Christina also serves her colleagues, often called upon to lead training on a variety of subjects, including diversity, equity, and inclusion. She believes a library must work diligently to serve all members of the community, and that its employees reflect that community.
I think in Henrico we have 100 and something languages that are spoken, and I would just love to see more people join library staff, join all agencies, but join the library so that they can then turn around and help their communities.
The magic of the written word has taken entire populations of people into new worlds, worlds that can help each library visitor create a better future for themselves. That goal will always fuel Christina Ramirez's already considerable energy.
She's very dedicated to her goal, which is to connect the populations that she sees as not being served or not even knowing that we're here to serve them. She is very energetic. She gives 120%.
Congratulations once again to Cristina Dominguez Ramirez with Henrico County Libraries. Bob.
Our next award honors innovation in government. This award recognizes an individual, organization, or government entity whose innovative work has resulted in increased efficiency, effectiveness, or other improvements that impact how a government performs and delivers its mission. In 2014, the Virginia Department of Juvenile Justice began an ambitious transformation plan. The results are extraordinarily impressive, as Director Valerie Boykin and her team have seen dramatic gains in the positive outcomes for the thousands of youth and families served by DJJ. Includes a reduction in the number of youth incarcerated in state correctional centers and improvements in educational and treatment programs. We all know how it's important to get our children back on the right track, and this program has just worked exquisitely well. So let's congratulate Director Valerie Boykin and the employees of the Department of Juvenile Justice for their innovative work that's made such a difference for the juveniles and the families they serve.
On any given day, nearly 50,000 young people in the United States find themselves incarcerated. Most of them are held in restrictive, correctional-style facilities after running afoul with the juvenile justice or criminal justice systems. In Virginia, much of that changed in 2014 with an innovative plan developed by the Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security and the Department of Juvenile Justice. The plan set the stage for a dramatic change in the way Virginia treats youthful offenders.
We undertook efforts to reduce the population, reform the system, and replace our adult-like prison facilities for juveniles. And since 2014, we have been working diligently. We've had a phenomenal team at the Department of Juvenile Justice, and we've had success, and we're very proud of our juvenile justice transformation here in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Using the 3 R's as the building blocks, reduce the population, reform the system, and replace adult-like prisons, the Department of Juvenile Justice closed 2 youth facilities and reinvented the Bon Air Correctional Center. While the department has nearly 5,000 people under some kind of supervision, more than 90% are now being supervised in their communities through diversion, probation, or parole.
So we have an incredible staff here at the Department of Juvenile Justice. Folks who like working with kids, who believe in kids, who believe in the power of resilience and redemption. And so staff have totally embraced our transformation efforts. It was a painful process in the beginning because we required people to change their thinking, change patterns of behavior and practices that we'd used for decades.
A key goal centered around keeping young people out of court while also providing services in the community through partnership with organizations like the Annie Casey Foundation and fellow state agencies, while also expanding the private service providers network. A 30-year veteran of the juvenile justice system, Boykin says a key element to reform must include a focus on equity.
Our population is largely African American and Latino. We have a great overrepresentation of those two populations, and so we want to make sure that our practices are fair and equitable in how we treat people and how we work with them. So it's not all about punishment. In many ways, it's really about being using a balanced approach with them. How do we hold them accountable while still teaching them skills and helping them become better citizens when they go back into their communities?
The results of this innovative transformation over the past 6 years are indisputable. Fewer state-run youth correctional facilities, nearly half the number of youth housed in state facilities, a network of more than 150 community-based service providers, and most importantly, better outcomes and brighter futures for young people and their families.
Congratulations to Director Valerie Boykin and the employees of the Department of Juvenile Justice for their innovative work that's made such a difference for the juveniles and families they serve.
Thousands of children in the Richmond area had a safe and fruitful start in life thanks to the dedication and vision of our next honoree, John C. Purnell Jr., who served as Executive Director of the Friends Association for Children for over 40 years. Purnell skillfully helped at-risk children and families overcome prejudice, economic disparity, and many other challenges. Purnell is the recipient of the first Excellence in Virginia Government Grace E. Harris Leadership Award, named for VCU's former provost and trailblazer, Dr. Grace Harris. This award recognizes an individual who has made a discernible, sustainable, positive impact on the quality of life in Virginia through public service, and is recognized for their exceptional honor and integrity.
The afternoon sounds echoing through the halls of Friends Association for Children are music to the ears of John Purnell Jr. As director of the Friends Association for more than 40 years, his vision, energy, and belief that all children and their families need the support and resources to succeed remains woven into the fabric of Friends.
Well, Friends never leaves me, to be very honest. And, you know, I am just so pleased to know that the agency continues to go. And when you stop to think about an organization that was founded in 1871 and that has been flexible in being able to respond to the changing social needs, and to realize that there's enough of a foundation for the current leadership of this organization to have a vision for what is needed now and into the future, that's reassuring. It's really reassuring.
Friends not only provides critical pre-K programs, they also provide young people and their families services to help them develop skills to be successful at school, work, and at home. Purnell significantly expanded Friends' footprint in the community during his long tenure, but perhaps his most enriching legacy is the establishment of the Friends Music and Performing Arts programs. This was considered a novel approach decades ago, but the dedication of Friends staff, volunteers, and the community have made that approach continue and flourish over the years.
The introduction of music and performing arts to our children was ahead of its time, and just a simple participation in a music or performing arts program is something that will position every child to do better in math, in science, and in how they socialize with their peers and with adults that they engage with. So I think the introduction or the establishment of our music education and performing arts program here at Friends has had multiple-fold impact on all that we try to accomplish.
State Corporation Commission. Supplemental plans are very flexible and allow you comprehensive coverage.
While John Purnell has accomplished much in his career, this is not a man known to rest on his laurels. After retiring from Friends, he sought a new way to give back to the community. John saw firsthand the challenges of signing up for Medicare, so he enlisted the services of Senior Connections. He liked how they helped him and decided he wanted to do the same for other folks in his community and signed up to volunteer. Now, here he is again, lending his compassion to help other seniors navigate the complexities of the healthcare system.
He knew firsthand what this program would mean to other individuals and wanted to be able to help. Now, he not only brings his volunteer spirit in terms of helping others, but also being able to provide leadership to us.
Leadership that the late Grace Harris would most certainly be proud of. Purnell and Harris knew each other growing up and followed each other's careers as adults. Harris was executive director of Friends before going to VCU, where she would rise to the rank of provost and vice president of faculty affairs. John Purnell says that gives special meaning to his recognition.
And for me to now feel that I'm a beneficiary of some of what she's done, it's simply special. And I don't think words can really describe it.
Like Grace Harris, John Purnell's life's work and leadership has affected thousands of young people and created a legacy of successful citizens whose path to success started spending time with friends.
Congratulations to John Purnell Jr., recipient of our inaugural Gracie Harris Leadership Award.
The Community Enhancement Award recognizes an outstanding commitment to improving the quality of community life in Virginia. Our honoree in this category is the Health Brigade, formerly the Fan Free Clinic. Started more than 50 years ago, Health Brigade annually delivers health services to more than 10,000 people in Richmond and 22 surrounding counties in a caring and non-judgmental environment. Their work truly embraces and enhances our community.
But in terms of using dairy as a protein source, which is a lot the recommendation.
Health Brigade's mission is both simple and profound, providing exceptional health services to the most vulnerable in society in a caring and non-judgmental environment. Created more than 50 years ago as a small community clinic by a few medical professionals from VCU, Health Brigade has grown into a robust community healthcare provider, delivering primary care, mental health, and health outreach to more than 10,000 patients each year, many of them with nowhere else to go.
Poverty is a big issue along the folks that we serve. And then you're talking about also racist structures and judgments on people's behavior. They might have illnesses because we've judged them to have that illness based on their behavior. And so Health Brigade, and formerly Fan Free Clinic, has always been committed to, we are a safe place, we do not judge you, we are here to help you maintain and reach your best health, whatever that is.
Throughout their history, Health Brigade has run toward the tough health issues of the day when others retreated. Health Brigade was on the cutting edge of women's contraception in the 1970s, AIDS education and testing in the 1980s, and later welcomed the transgender population. Many of Health Brigade's patients have chronic illnesses like diabetes, but do not have insurance.
They've been so good to me. I've been able to get all the insulin I need, I've been able to see doctors, I've done physical therapy, I've done a lot of things that I've needed throughout the years.
The success of Health Brigade rides on many shoulders, nearly 500 of them in fact. Volunteers who have achieved professional success in healthcare and then lent their expertise to treat Health Brigade patients. That includes nurse practitioner, VCU professor, and researcher Joe Robbins.
It's an excellent opportunity to give back to the community in meaningful ways that really do affect health and health outcomes. It creates for me the opportunity to have ongoing relationships with patients.
Robbins takes a holistic and deeply compassionate approach to healthcare, a reflection of the Health Brigade philosophy. Her patients appreciate this decades-long act of kindness.
True to our nature is about not only about serving people in need, but also the people who've been most oppressed, who've been most stigmatized, who've been pushed to the margins of society.
We salute Executive Director Karen Legato, along with the staff and volunteers for their outstanding commitment to serving the least served and improving the health and quality of community life. For many years, I've watched what was the Fran Free Clinic and now the Health Brigade deliver its services, and I'm just always extraordinarily impressed by the volunteers and the effort they make to ensure that everybody in our community can access the health care they need.
Helping all Virginians attain quality, affordable housing has been the mission of Virginia Housing since 1972. Executive Director Susan Dewey, the agency and its partners are being recognized for their innovative and successful public-private partnerships across the Commonwealth of Virginia with the greater housing community. This work has delivered a measurable improvement in public service, resulting in a tremendous impact on the quality and accessibility to affordable housing across the state.
The pace is unrelenting. The progress is palpable as Amazon's HQ2 takes shape in Arlington. A huge win for the Commonwealth, but one that caused concern in Northern Virginia, where housing is already so expensive. This is where excellence in government can enhance the success of a new business venture. When the deal was announced, Virginia Housing went to work, partnering with local community groups to develop innovative solutions for affordable housing and to pledge $75 million over 5 years as seed money to help ensure the success of this endeavor in the region.
The first $15 million has already helped to take a 30-year-old apartment building, 326 units, in which we've been able to put 114 units of workforce, and the rest is affordable to lower income people. It's already doing tangible things on the project level.
Created in 1972 by the General Assembly to help Virginians attain quality, affordable housing, Virginia Housing accomplishes this through a myriad of programs and partnerships. The operating philosophy is simple, yet profound. When homes are affordable and accessible to jobs, good schools, and transportation, everyone benefits. The key to this effort is Virginia Housing's ability to develop strong partnerships that become the foundation of this success.
And that's really critical because we could not accomplish our mission without those partnerships. And that includes realtors, lenders, nonprofits, developers, General Assembly members, and state and local officials. They're all critical to our success and to furthering the mission of affordable housing in Virginia.
Virginia Housing sets aside 60% of its net revenues for the REACH Virginia program, short for Resources Enabling Affordable Community Housing in Virginia. Tens of millions of dollars are set aside each year to make certain they are serving the most difficult housing needs across the Commonwealth. In Charlottesville, Virginia Housing used REACH dollars to partner with the developers of Carlton Views, where low-income seniors have access to quality health care and a healthy place to live. Another REACH initiative is reaching out to some of Virginia's most vulnerable citizens at Seaside Harbor in Virginia Beach.
Fortunately, the Lawson companies working with some of our partners, Samaritan House down there, have found a way to serve the needs of not only low income, but people with disabilities. And that's a critical need in housing. And to be able to do that in a high cost area like Virginia Beach is phenomenal.
In Richmond, the Better Housing Coalition develops, owns, and manages affordable housing communities like Lincoln Mews in Northside and Market Square in Chesterfield. They also provide services for families so they can thrive in the greater community.
Virginia Housing has been a critical partner for our 30-year success. They've provided an allocation of housing credits, they provide construction financing, mortgage financing, but more importantly, they've helped build our capacity by investing in our organization to get stronger.
Through strategic investment, innovation, and partnerships across the Commonwealth, for nearly 50 years, Virginia Housing has met its mission to help Virginians attain quality, affordable housing and transform the lives of thousands of individuals and families.
Virginia Housing is one of the highest ranked state housing finance agencies in the country, and we're so fortunate to have them here in Virginia. And they understand the importance of what home does for the Commonwealth, for localities, and for individual families to be their best selves.
We congratulate Executive Director Susan Dewey, the Virginia Housing Associates, and their many partners on being selected as the EVGA Public-Private Partnerships Honoree.
I am called upon likewise to recognize the accomplishments of an individual serving in the United States Congress today, Robert C. Scott. Bobby Scott came to the Virginia House of Delegates when I was in the Senate, came to the Virginia Senate when I was in the Senate, and was one of those persons who orchestrated the move to say, why is not Wilder qualified to be Lieutenant Governor, and circulated the petition amongst our colleagues in the Senate, and they had to agree that I was at least qualified. And so, Bobby, you've borne your mantle well. You've done so much in terms of carrying that same degree of attitude and disposition to the U.S. Congress, being the first person of color to be so elected since John Mercer Langston. In the Reconstruction days, poor John Langston had to fight for two-thirds of his tenure. Elected for 2 years, he spent 18 months fighting to even show that he was entitled to be the congressman from that district. And I recall when we were carving up the state in terms of redistricting, to be certain that we could have someone like you represent us. Bobby Scott represented Norfolk, he represented Petersburg, parts of Norfolk rather, Newport News, Hampton, and the city of Richmond. I said, good gracious, how could you do something like that? Well, that's one way to be certain that we have certain people voting. There's one way to be certain that we have him there. He's now the chairman of the Committee on Education and Labor. He's also a ranking member by seniority of the Judiciary Committee. Now, what are people speaking about around the nation today, more so than education and criminal justice reform? Bobby Scott's there. He hears, he listens, he attunes himself. You call him, he responds. He is not there for Bobby Scott. He's there for the people of Virginia. He's there for the people of America. And I'm proud to call him my friend. We salute him and we congratulate you. God bless. And you're most deserving of this lifetime award of exemplary leadership in Virginia. God bless you and thank you.
It is truly an American story. A man who grew up with the law viewing him as unequal is now a familiar presence at the highest level of American government.
Well, I grew up in Newport News. We had segregated schools back at the time, and we knew that changes would have to happen, and that's why public policy comes in. All of my public policy life, we've been trying to make the changes necessary to make educational opportunities equal. I've done that in the General Assembly, the House of Delegates, the State Senate, now in Congress.
This ascension to the United States Congress is pioneering. The first African American to represent a Virginia district in more than 100 years. That distinction, a pioneer, can often come with its share of burdens.
It's more important not necessarily to be the first, but that you're not the last.
Indeed, Bobby Scott isn't the last. He may, however, be the most enduring. His constituents continue to choose him to represent the district election after election since 1992. The effect of that fact on our entire culture cannot be underestimated.
The biggest thing about democracy is not so much being able to have these glimpses of inclusion, but to feel that you're always a part of it. It's a part of your fabric. It's the DNA, and he's a part of that.
Bobby Scott's longevity in Congress represents so much more than just a few gray hairs. It tells the story of how far we have come as a Commonwealth. When the first ever African American from Virginia was elected to Congress, a nearly insurmountable fury ensured he would only spend 6 months representing the district. John Mercer Langston's 1888 election was contested in courts for a year and a half before he was able to prove he got the most votes to win. He lost the next election. What followed was a generations-long assault on African American voting rights in the South, preventing anyone from Virginia serving in Congress for more than a century. And then along came Bobby Scott.
But there was never any time when I was looking towards elective politics. I was just looking to get involved. The Chamber of Commerce, the Bar Associations, the NAACP. I started the Legal Aid Program on the peninsula. You learn very early that as you want to make changes, you can formulate the ideas, but at some point you got to hand it off to the politicians to get the job done.
Once in the House, Bobby Scott has been relentless in his service to his constituents. He has helped sustain Newport News' economic foundation of shipbuilding, while ensuring the U.S. Navy has the finest and most effective vessels on the world's oceans. It didn't take long, however, to see where Bobby Scott's true heart lies: our nation's children. He is most effective as chair of the House Committee on Education and Labor.
He gets it so well. We can't be a great nation if we can't make our children see and have a real opportunity to reach their highest potential. And it starts with education.
The Education and Labor Committee has incredible jurisdiction, the kind of jurisdiction that actually touches people's lives. Obviously, education, which starts pre-K, K through 12, higher education, job training.
Part of that education is derived from young people seeing what is possible in their lives instead of the obstacles that exist.
He's always there serving the people, doing what he can to represent everybody, not just his district, but the nation. And for a little kid to see that, who may be from the barrio or from public housing or wherever he or she may be, and say, you know what, I can do that because Bobby does it. That's powerful.
Thank you, Congressman Scott, for all that you have done and continue to do, not only for the district you represent, but for all Virginians. Congratulations again on your Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, Governor Wilder and Dr. Holsworth, for your vision in creating the Excellence in Virginia Government Awards. And thanks to all of you for attending today to honor these outstanding individuals and organizations and to support the L. Douglas Wilder School EVGA scholarships and, most importantly, our students. We'd also like to thank all of our sponsors again. Our title sponsor, Dominion Energy, our reception sponsors, Virginia Housing and Altria, our signature sponsor, Centera Healthcare, our partner sponsor, the Wilder School Center for Public Policy, and our many supporting sponsors. We are very excited to announce that through a special partnership with WTVR-TV, we will have an encore presentation of today's celebration with a 30-minute broadcast called The L. Douglas Wilder School Honors Excellence in Virginia Government, next Thursday, April 22nd at 7:30 p.m. We hope you will tune in. Thank you again so much for joining us this afternoon, and congratulations to all of our honorees.